Welcome back, leaders, to Camp Bay Breeze training. This will be session 2, where we're going to talk about camp vocabulary and supplies. So we're going to talk a little bit about some camp terms that you're going to need to know. I'm not going to go over all of these because I'm sure that you all have either seen them or understand them, but we do encourage everybody to use the buddy system. We want 2 girls together, a minimum of 2 girls together, walking wherever they go. We don't want anyone going through camp by themselves. Of course, we have unit capers and camp capers. They're jobs that are assigned. For your unit caper, it's going to be you assign a girl or a set of girls to do that caper, to do that chore. And then at camp, we have them where the whole unit is going to participate in that. Every unit needs to have a hand washing station. And we'll go over how to make one of those in a little while, but every unit needs to have a hand washing station. And of course, we have our latrines, or biffy, as we like to say, your bathroom in the forest for you. So here are some more terms that we go over. The big one, I think, on this one is our aides and exactly what an aide is. And they are a trained, experienced teen Girl Scout that is there to assist with the activities. Our aides at camp are amazing. They have gone through lots of training. They are a wonderful resource for you in how to prepare your units. Now, our aides are only with our Brownie units, with our fly-up units, boys, pixies, and then our specials. So archery, arts and crafts, camp skills. If you're a junior leader and up, I'm sorry you do not get an aide with you at camp, but they can be used as resources if you do have questions. So our equipment and supplies that are available at camp. We do have a shed that's there that the Friends of Bay Breeze have been nice enough to let us keep there, and it is full of all kinds of supplies for you. So these are the items that we need the leaders to bring with them to camp. We need to have that you'd bring a cooler, and there needs to be ice in it every day. This is a place for the girls to keep drinks. This is a place for the girls to potentially keep their lunches. Of course, we recommend they don't bring lunches that need to be cooled, but drinks and the ability for you to be able to give them some ice if they need to cool off. Camp, unfortunately, cannot afford to buy ice for your cooler every day. We do supply the ice for our first aider, but we just can't afford to be able to supply your unit. We do offer some of the big orange, like Gatorade type coolers, but if you want to bring your own, highly recommend it. It's hard sometimes to get those coolers, kind of a first come, first serve. The hand washing jug and soap. We actually have soap available for you. It's the pump soap, and we do have refills for that. And we do have some jugs, again, for the hand washing, but again, it's a first come, first serve. We recommend a bulletin board that you can create as an info center where you can keep your caper chart. Adult chairs and adult scissors, because you will get tired of trying to use those little kitty scissors. We do have some material for banners. Again, it's first come, first serve. We do have some clothesline. Probably better to bring your own. Highly recommend you bring a can opener and a large knife for watermelon or anything else that you may need to be cutting. And, wooden spoons, dishcloths, towels, hot pads, those things we don't have available year round at camp. And then a wagon. If you have a wagon that you can bring to camp, it helps when the girls have to go to the water fountain or to the water faucet to have a wagon to put those big ice coolers in, the big jugs in, or their hand washing station. It's just really kind of makes it easier for those girls to have that available to them. The Bay Breeze supplies. We do supply a lot of the kind of basics. Your aluminum foil, your trash bags, your toilet paper, your paper towels. The paper towels are there to do like big cleanups. hand washing, those types of things. We want the girls to bring an extra bandana that's attached to their belt loop so that they can dry their hands with that. We do provide, we have peanut butter, jelly, and bread for anybody, and like a piece of fruit and a juice box for anybody who forgets a lunch. And we will certainly, for those of our kids that may have a food allergy, we do keep our knives separate, and those types of things. And some of your basic, very basic cooking supplies. And then we do get stuff from camp or from council. They provide us with the tents for the overnight, and the mallets and the hammers, and the fire buckets, and the rakes and the brooms, and our Dutch ovens, those types of things. If you have your own and you want to bring your own and you feel better using your own equipment, you're more than welcome to do that. If you don't have this equipment, if you're getting anything from the Bay Breeze supply list or from the council, there's a sign out sheet, and we ask that you sign that out through who we will have either an adult at the shed or one of our aides will be at the shed to sign that equipment out so that we know where that equipment is gone. And, that way, if somebody needs to borrow it, we will be able to hunt that equipment down. As you can see, we have lots of craft supplies. Not everything that's on this list may be currently in our shed, but there are a lot of supplies. When we do the on-camp training, we will actually give you time, you and your unit leader, the co-leaders and the aide, we will give you time to get into the shed, look around, see what's available. We would want you to use our supplies first. That way you're not having to dip into your pocket in order to buy supplies. Again, we cannot cover all of your supply cost for camp, and that's why we do provide this. A lot of these items are donated to us through troops that are no longer meeting, or people who are very crafty who no longer need all this stuff. So we want you to look through our camp supplies first and then go and see what you need. Certainly we have lots and lots, and we've got lots of material this year. I was able to get lots of donations, so we should have enough to make banners and material for swaps. Every unit will get a craft box, and these are the items that you will get. You will have that box with you for the entire week. That is your unit's box. So there's safety pins in there for when you're making swaps, and you'll have scissors and glue, the kind of the basics that you need in order to do any crafts in your unit. We do kind of talk about the personal overnight equipment. The girls that are staying for the Wednesday overnight, so that would be our juniors and up. These are the items that are sent home. The girls get a list, and these are the items that we ask that they bring in. We do want every camper to bring a full set of extra clothing. So we want them to bring a pair of socks, a spare pair of shoes. We would want them to have, shorts and a t-shirt. So that way, if anything gets wet, we can change them into dry gear. And then, of course, we ask for all of our girls to bring some sort of rain gear at camp. It is guaranteed that we will have rain the week of camp. In my 14 years, have yet to have a year where we don't have one rainy day at camp. And the girls absolutely love it. So these are some of the items that are here. We do want, when you are doing your cookout during the week, so for my brownies and for my boys, we want them to bring in a mess kit or eating equipment. We don't want them eating on paper plates and using plastic forks. That's just not very eco-wise. So we want to make sure that and this information again will go out to parents when we send the information, but we want them to have a plate, a bowl, and a cup. We want it to be reusable, no styrofoam. You can have a metal one, you can have a reusable. I go to the dollar store and buy up a bunch of plastic plates and plastic cups, and that way they have them have a fork and knife and a spoon. Again, metal, not plastic, and some sort of drip bag. The best place to go for these is to get yourself a lingerie bag at the dollar store. That way the girls can hang it on the clothesline after you have done dishes, and uh, their dishes can dry. And again, we'll go over that in another training video that I will have put together for you, but just kind of want to talk about that right now. Of course, these would be the essentials for the overnight. Of course, we would want girls, and this is really kind of a list other than the batteries of essential items to have. Swap hats. We will talk about swaps. We talked a little bit, and then we will have a little bit more information on them. They are some whatchamacallit, affectionately pinned somewhere, little mementos that go onto a hat. Bandanas, oh my goodness, you can't ever have too many bandanas. 2 for each day, one for your head, one for your hands, to be able to wash and dry and have that. A sit-upon, something to put underneath your bottom. Girls are, and that includes my aides and AITs, girls are not to sit in the camp chairs. That's for the adults. That's your privilege of having worked so hard to come to camp, is that you get to sit in a camp chair. Bug spray and sunscreen, those we will go over more when we have our video on what are the first aid and medications in camp, and same here. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. No valuables need to be brought to camp. No radios, no electronic games. Again, the cell phones we talked about a little bit. My aides are able to use their cell phones, but that is only for emergencies. They're not to have their phones out and texting, their boyfriends while they're there at camp. They're there to pay attention to the girls. Closed-toed shoes, that is just a given at camp. We don't want anyone to hurt themselves in an open-toe shoe. Socks need to cover the ankles. That helps with chiggers and with ticks. We don't want any food or gum around. No scented items. It's just going to make your make you more attracted to all the bugs. And everything really should be marked with the camper's name on it. So, but again, those lists will go out to the parents as we get closer to our camp date. And then one of my favorite Girl Scout thoughts is that a Girl Scout who packs her own bag knows what she has, and she knows where she can find it. So sometimes parents like to pack their girls' bags for them, and then the girls go, but I don't have a toothbrush. If you allow the girls to pack their bags, they will know what is in that bag and where to find it. So thank you all for attending this training, and we'll have a couple of more that will be coming out. Plan on doing one weekly, so before we get ready for camp. So thank you all so much.